Here I go. Welcome, everybody, to The Road to 200. That's right. We're heading straight to episode 200. But we got to stop along the way for gas. That's what this episode is. You know, we just got to make a little pit stop. Record a little something. Right, Trav?
Without a doubt. We want to do something special for 200, so we're working on that, and we're going to have some build-up.
Yeah. Yeah. No Pete today. I don't know what to say about that.
I know what to say. D&D is more important.
D&D. What the hell? Remember when he used to love this podcast?
Remember when he used to make fun of people that played Magic the Gathering?
Yeah. I do.
And then he started playing Magic the Gathering?
Yeah. Yeah. What a hypocrite. Huh. Oh, well. You're stuck with me and Travis today. We'll try to do something fun. No promises.
No promises whatsoever.
Got some good stuff to talk about.
We do. I think this is going to be one of those episodes that people that like toys are going to be like, man, that was a really good episode.
Yeah.
That's a stretch. That wasn't a bad episode.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst.
Right. That's probably where we're headed. Enter Cody is in the house. If there's anything amusing from YouTube, he might let us know. Realistically, he's probably not going to because he's not going to find very much of it amusing. But
right,
we shall see, of course. This is how much Cody's like, I don't really want to be involved. He literally gave me his phone.
So you can watch the comments.
Yeah, but it's his phone, and it's open.
Do we have a link so that people in the support group know this is happening right now?
Oh, we should do that.
Can we do that, Cody? Can you do that?
Just post it. Yeah, he's like, yeah, from my phone.
Your Facebook login, right?
You're in the support group, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, I could probably post that.
I would think.
We need to make him an admin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'd just love that.
Well, then he could just
Post
do it
stuff
under
whenever
my
he
wife is
wants.
going to kill me.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that. We'll figure it
Jeez,
out.
Let's figure this out on mics.
Yeah, that's why. That's a great time to do it.
We're good. You know, it's like pooping on work time.
So it's been a while since we've been on the mics, and a lot happened for us last weekend.
Yeah, a lot.
And while we didn't have a My Wife is Gonna Kill Me episode, we were online. If you go on our YouTube, you can watch our interaction for Legions Con, which was absolutely amazing. And
well, I don't know if we were amazing.
Oh, no.
But being part of it was amazing for us.
And the show in itself.
Yeah.
It was just, I'll be honest, I really didn't expect it to be as enjoyable as it was. Because I just thought sitting watching these breakout rooms and this.
Let's face it, you were kind of dreading it.
When they didn't ask me to be a moderator, I was so thankful.
Okay, that's where you're going. I thought you were still going to play the...
No, I really was thankful because I was like, man, I got all kinds of stuff to do, and I love this stuff, but I'm like, sitting for 7 hours or whatever, watching, something on a computer screen, I just didn't think, and even in the past G-Cons, they would always fall on like a show, like a con.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I would be setting up for the con with it playing, like, in the background. And so, like, I still would enjoy it and everything, but it wouldn't be like I was immersed in it. You know what I mean? So, I didn't expect it to be as enjoyable as it was. And I don't want that to come off the wrong way because it was super awesome.
Well, you got to understand Travis's brain. Have you ever attended a panel at a con?
Maybe twice, and I've been to a lot of cons.
Really? What panels would have drew you in? Because every time
I think one I sat with part of it with you, and that was Pixel Dan. No. Jordan Hembro.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Jordan Hembro, the toy hunter. He was at a show in Indiana that we did.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Ohio, but regardless.
It's Indiana.
Okay, Indiana.
Indianapolis.
And he did a panel, and it was like, what, there's maybe like 30 people there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really kind of intimate and kind of fun, but Jordan, while I respected the show and his knowledge and everything, the Toy Hunter, a lot of that stuff's so staged
Oh, yeah.
that when I watch it, I'm like, I just, it's hard for me to really get into it. I still enjoy the content, but you're right. I like even that, like I don't go to panels ever. I
No,
have
he
no
doesn't.
interest.
We'll go to these shows, and I will mention that I want to go see a panel, and he'll be like, go. Please.
Have fun.
When I get back and I try to tell him about what I saw at the panel, he doesn't really care. He's just looking at me and going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You're like, they said this. They said this.
Yeah, he does not care at all. So, translate that into basically a con that you can't just aimlessly walk your ADD ass around looking at things, and you have to sit here and pay attention to a screen. Travis was like a little bit, had a little bit of a claustrophobic feel over it.
Yeah.
But that being said, after it was all done, you were pretty happy.
I don't think pretty happy quite describes how I felt. The fact of the matter is G-Con was amazing because every half an hour it seemed like they were dropping a reveal of some absolutely amazing figures that we were super excited for. So that made that so much fun. And then we sat here together and watched G-Con, which I also think made it that much more enjoyable. You know, producer Cody was here helping us get ready. So it was just a fun experience, and G-Con was absolutely amazing. And then to have, you know, like a half an hour at the end of it to kind of wrap things up was pretty darn cool. And, you know, we love the Horsemen, obviously. You know, I mean, this is a podcast about toys, but anybody that listens to this knows that Mythic Legions is our number one. And so to be part of that is just an amazing experience. You know, and so then you take the next day, which is Legions Con, which isn't, you know, run by the Four Horsemen. They're part of it.
Yes.
But it is Joe Verteria and Jeremy Gerard. And they put together just this amazing fun show. And like I told Steve, like for the breakout rooms, I spent the majority of my time in Lens, Wolf King Customs. Steve was in there. And I'll be honest, a lot of our podcast listeners were in there.
Yeah, there was a lot of familiar faces that were commenting.
Yes. There's a lot of other people there too.
Yeah, that
Yep.
we didn't know were there because they didn't comment. But
I was having a lot of fun with that. While I was doing that, I mean, I had earbuds in and had my phone in my hand, and I was blowing leaves. And, you know, I was doing yard work around my house. And it really just kind of like, it made it for a real fun experience. And then we got together, watched a little bit more of it, and then jumped into, you know, the end where we got to be part of a really just amazing experience. And if you're not aware of what we're talking about, there is a game company creating a Mythic Legions based game. And there's going to be a Kickstarter for it. It will be something that we as fans are going to have to back to make happen. But I will tell you, I am super excited about it. And we had the opportunity to talk with the game creators multiple times leading up to it, and I am super excited for the things that they are going to bring people, because it's going to be awesome.
yeah, I think this is going to be something that us Mythic Legions fans, of course, are going to enjoy the heck out of. But I also think, you know, this could make bring Mythic Legions to a grander scale, or a grander stage, if you will. So yeah, I've got high hopes for this, and I'm very excited about it, and super thrilled to be basically the first guys to drop information about it. Besides when they showed us that little animation of what this may look at, we got to see Gorgo moving around on screen.
I think a lot of fans have been screaming for some story.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in the toy collecting community, they need that. And we don't get me wrong, we get it from the bio cards and the comic book, which was, very short, but we also need it. We want it. But we love the figures themselves. Some people, they have to have a story to really get invested in. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I totally understand that too. I think we still have a little bit of that being able to create story in our minds aspect from our childhood, because let's be honest, we never really grew up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fans out there that they need more. And I think this is going to be an opportunity to get some of that.
Yeah. It is.
A lot of cool things came out of it. A lot of amazing news. A lot of this stuff is still available to go watch, today.
Yeah.
If you were interested in checking it out, but some cool things, some points that I think are very important. Obviously, there's a pre-order going on right now. Store Horseman, it's a beautiful wave. There's a freaking moose, a full-blown moose.
Ain't that ridiculous?
Oh my god!
In the coolest way.
And every time I see it, I still go, "That is a beautiful-looking action figure." Every time I see it.
Yeah.
What if you had to pick one from that wave? Like right now, you got to pick one. You only get one.
Oh, you only get one to have?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It might be the moose.
Isn't it weird? But
just because it's so different.
It's
different.
something
so different.
It's so
to
different.
put on your Mythic Legion shelf. That's like, if I can't have the rest.
Yeah.
That's the most different thing I can think of.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you. I love all the figures.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, and I could understand where someone would say the Vampire Brute, Ilithia. I understand all that, but I'm like, it's just imagine this beautifully crafted moose with this huge rack done by the Four Horsemen, so it's going to be top notch. It's just pretty exciting to think about, and also really goofy, but it's
goofy.
Cool. Yeah,
it fits Xylona's flock.
Oh yeah,
because there's some goofy stuff going on in there.
And I'll tell you the other thing that I was super excited about, that they said was that there is going to come a Legion Builder wave is coming, in some fashion. Now, does that mean they're just gonna be available on the store, or is there gonna be another pre-order? We don't know the answer to that, but it's coming, and that's pretty darn exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. We need it. We need a Legion Builder wave.
Yeah.
I think that so many customizers and just people who want to have troops and troop build, and I think that the Four Horsemen can sell the bejesus out of them, and it's good for everybody.
Yeah, it is, and it's exciting, and it's gonna come. So hey, there's our recap of that weekend, which it doesn't even give it enough, but the reality of it is we talked about this stuff, and if you guys want to find that information, you go get it. It's actually on our YouTube page as well. If you want to find that, we're on YouTube right now. You can check it out, and I'll tell you, it's just an amazing experience.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. And what's cool, if you do decide to go back and look at this this content, you talk about these breakout rooms where, me and I was in the Wolf King one with Len and Emil Vickman, and then there was, Nikki Nicole Cheney had one, and there was, just multiples going on at one. Well, it wasn't like if you're picking one, you're missing the content in the other. Because if you go back and watch this content, you can watch all of mine, and as soon as you're done with that, you can start with Nikki's and watch all of hers. Oh, look at we got an echo. So you can get all of that, which what G-Con went, or Legions Con went for maybe, I don't know, I'm just going to guess 8 hours. But there's more than 8 hours of content that you can watch if you go back there. It's for $6 or whatever it costs. You can have hours and hours of stuff to watch. See anything good, Trav?
Motu Joe brought up Plastic Crack at Muskegon. He said I was in that panel.
Because you were actually on the panel.
I might have been on the panel. Yeah. I've been on a couple panels, so I guess I kind of attended those half-heartedly.
There you go.
Yeah. But Plastic Crack was amazing, and still waiting for season 2, but I think it's coming.
He's working on it.
Yep, it is
He's
coming.
getting closer, and I'm excited to see what exactly he has in stock for us, because I know that there is going to be. I think there's going to be some things that we haven't seen yet, meaning me and you.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
I think.
That'll be pretty exciting. Yeah, I can't wait for that. So Road to 200, a couple things that I want to talk about. We are kicking around some ideas for things we're going to do, and I think we got some fun ones, and I think Legions Con might have helped us with some of those ideas, so we'll see where that goes, because we really want the fans to be able to enjoy the whole experience with us. I'll be honest, our plan was always to have a big party and get everybody together, and we would record a live show, and obviously with what's going on, we're not able to do that. So we are going to figure out something else that we can do, and we'll see, but we're going to make it happen. We have an event going on right now for Joe Ryan, a longtime listener, battling cancer, and we want to do what we can to help him out. So we put together 2 lots. It's a $20 buy-in, and you get to pick which lot you're in. Obviously, if you want to pay more, you can be in both. One is a mythic lot with a ton of amazing pieces in there. The names involved in it are kind of astounding if you're a mythic fan, but when you start talking about William Robert Post and Zombie 13 and Jeremy Gerard and Len LaGuardia and Von Creep, Hobby Lobby, Chris Middlecamp, and yeah, that's it, I think. Oh yeah, Steve's in there too.
I am?
Yeah, you got a beautiful piece in there.
Dang.
Luke Kulikamp donated a cool piece that you had painted. So
Oh,
yep.
yes. I'm aware.
It's an amazing lot that I would honestly put the value at somewhere around $500. It's pretty dang cool. Heidi included a Dio, which is a fun one, little bar scene. And if you're interested in getting on that, you just got to message us. Drop $200 or drop $20 into PayPal to me, and we will get you registered. And on the 200th episode, which we're hoping is about 2 to 3 weeks away, we will be raffling those off to whoever's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun, and like I said, it's going to a good cause, and all that money is going to Joe. So a couple things I also wanted to discuss. Matt Rodriguez put together a, was it the history of My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me? The origin story of My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me.
Yeah.
And Matt absolutely killed this. It's a wrap. We will feature it on the show at some point for sure when we can figure out how to make that happen. And we will share some links to it as well. We've already done that, but we'll do it again because it really is that good and super enjoyable. Did you laugh your butt off, Steve?
I did. When I saw what it was, and before I watched it, I was like, this is going to be ridiculous. I thought I was going to be one of those deals where I feel embarrassed for Matt. I thought it was going to be that bad. However, it didn't go that way because it was very good, and it did make me laugh, and he did a great job. Bravo.
Yeah, absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
Just amazing. So, Matt, you're the man, and like I said, if you haven't seen it, go out and check it out because it is amazing. We got some fans here with us: Jim Bagtaz, Eric Bertram,
Nice,
KJ Smith, Super Curry Max, who greeted us with the appropriate Fat Boys, and he asked what the paper thing with the wax seal is. Look at this. Look at little eagle-eyed Super Curry. So that's a fun little part that we got that sent to us for G-Con Legions Con, and that had to do with the game. So it's cool. It's got a 4 Horsemen seal on it. It's absolutely amazing. We talked about giving one away as a gift, but then we realized no, we were selfish and we want to keep them. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
You want to get your own little 4 Horsemen stamp letter and go build yourself a podcast about Mythic Legions and try to outdo us. Not going to happen.
Spend some time on your knees like we did.
Yeah.
Brandon said, "Why'd he get so quiet?" And I'm not sure what Brandon is implying. I don't know if the audio is messed up, or
should be good.
Yeah. Producer Cody says it's good.
Coder.
Coder. Coder.
Ah!
Code.
All right.
Last, but not least, Fire, Wings of Fire, Rain.
God's Fire.
God's Fire. So Steven is working with the very talented Emily Wickman from Sweden, and they have put together this amazing little group of custom heads.
Yeah.
That then they put on some Templars and they painted. They created this amazing story. There is a really cool video out there on YouTube right now, and it not only has Emily, Steven, and it has the amazing Jeremy DeWitt involved as well. And it is a fun little thing. We want to talk about it a little bit, Steve?
Sure. It's just a little, I tell you, I said this in the breakout rooms, but I gotta say it again because not everybody heard that. Working with Emil is truly like playing with a kid in the sandbox. He's very creative. He's always doing something, whether not the same stuff. He might be sculpting. He might be doing 2D. He might be doing making a video or a small movie. You just never know what the guy's going to go on to next. And it's fun when you get drug along on some of this stuff. So, we made these characters. 2 of the heads are available. 2 of the heads are coming at some point. So it basically kind of gives a little synopsis of what God's Fire is, and basically it's just a video that we wanted to make the whole thing look badass. Not only are Mythic Legions are just badass anyways, the Templar figures are fun as they are, but with Emil's photography, and his abilities at editing and everything, along with paired with Jeremy's music, it just made a real kind of metal little scene.
Oh, it's awesome.
There's lots of great sound effects in there.
It's amazing.
Clanging
and also shared on our page. Go check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It's fun.
It's super cool, and I just love that it gives you the opportunity to really. We like to tease Pete, who's not here because he's playing Dungeons and Dragons with another group of nerds right now. But I love that he gets to, let his, artistic freedom kind of flow with that stuff. And like I've said, I can't imagine what it's like for all those other people playing with him because he probably never shuts up and won't stop talking about how amazing his bard is. But the fact that he has something like that he really enjoys, I'm happy for him. And the fact that you don't leave the toy womb anymore because you're enjoying painting and conversing with these other super nerds like Emily, it makes me very happy for you.
Yeah, and it's not just Emil. I mean, me and Emil work pretty closely together on a lot of stuff, but I mean, we're batting stuff between Len and Jeremy, and we're all the same, cut from the same cloth. We just want to have fun.
Yeah.
We just want to be imaginative.
I mean, but not real fun.
We mean not real fun.
Well, like fake fun, like over the phone fun, but not even like sexting. Like, you mean more like just, I guess, talking about toys.
Yeah, that's fun for me.
Yeah.
Being creative is fun for me.
Understandable.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be physical.
It's usually a little bit more fun if there's some physical, though.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm just a little bit.
With your buddies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like a hug once in a while. Maybe like a good game.
Well, that stuff's all fine and dandy, but, it's hard to do from Maine and Sweden and New Jersey.
That's true. I guess you get around. So while you're in the toy womb, I had a little experience I'd like to tell you about.
Well, I'd love to hear about it.
I'm building a pool.
When you say you, financially, yes.
Yes.
You are building a pool.
I'm paying others to build the pool.
Yeah.
and I needed to go to this shed place the other day to buy my pool shed
Okay.
and some patio furniture. So I drive up to this place, and it's the first time I've ever been there when it's open. I've been to it numerous times, walked through the sheds, looked at stuff, looked at prices, all these kind of things. This is the first time I've ever been there. So I pull in. I'm by myself, and I'm walking up to this place, and it's huge. I mean, it's a huge place.
This is that place off to the left when you're
Yes.
going to Fremont?
Yep.
And they got all the sheds sitting out there?
Mast mini barns.
Okay.
Okay. So, as I walk in the front door, I do what? Like, what do we have to do now when you go to any business?
Put a mask on.
I pull my mask up. Okay. I walk in the door, and literally there is 7 Amish people inside this place
Yeah.
not wearing a single mask. Like, not around their necks, not hanging from their ear, like they're getting ready to pull them up. Like, they ain't wearing masks.
Right.
Okay? So I'm standing there, and I'm kind of confronted with this decision.
Do you take your mask off to be like them? Or do you leave it up?
To protect myself from the virus. So what do you do, Steven?
If I'm you, I put it up because you're going to protect them from you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't leave their community, right?
They really don't, except for they have this.
They got customers
They have
coming in.
customers coming in. Yeah. So I hate to say this, but I didn't really want to look like a pussy,
Oh, okay. Right. So you took your mask down.
so I took my mask down.
Okay. Did they tell you to put it on?
No,
Oh. I thought it was going to be a weird curveball like that. Like,
No,
like,
no.
You put it on.
nothing like that.
Okay.
But in my mind, I had this, like I'm here to make a business deal,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try and work these guys,
Right.
and I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm a pussy
You already did that.
by taking my mask off. You
No,
think?
but 2 things.
What?
First, you walked in with a mask to make yourself look like a pussy.
True.
Then you looked at them and said, "Oh, nobody's wearing a mask," and you said, "I got to do what everybody else does and have no,
Not just worry about myself.
you're conforming to someone else. You're not saying fuck you, I'm doing what I want." And then you took the mask down to look like you, which also made you look like a pussy. You'd look like less of a pussy if you'd have walked. First, you walked in with a mask. Oh, he's a pussy, but at least he's got some consistency in his beliefs, and he's gonna walk in here and say, "I'm wearing this fucking mask because that's what I fucking think is right." Instead, you're like, "Oh, you're not wearing a mask? I guess I won't wear a mask either." So you double pussied yourself.
I think I probably did.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
Okay.
They have plexiglass, so they're behind the glass.
Pussies.
Okay. So
Okay.
while I'm having this conversation and I'm trying to carry myself like a man, which, I mean, let's be honest, I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, like, these 2 things right here made me the most excited I've been in the last 3 weeks. Okay. I'm having this conversation with them where I'm trying to be tough, and do my thing, and
Is it because they're Amish? Why is this feeling where you have to be?
I don't know.
You needed to walk in like John Wayne.
There's
What
a
is
lot. There's a lot more to it, but I think the funny angle is that I didn't want to be a pussy. Okay. So the guy goes, "All right, what kind of siding would you like?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." My wife told me what color to get.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
And that's what you told them?
No, I was thinking that in my brain.
Okay. You don't tell them.
No. I
that
don't tell them.
You
that.
asked your wife,
No,
I don't think.
No, that's kind of the vibe I got too.
You tell your wife.
So then I had to do something that might have made him think a little less of me.
What'd you do?
Excuse me, sir, but I have to go call my wife. So I got out my cell phone.
Oh, boy. You had to walk out there with your little cell phone because you can't live without it. It might as well be the umbilical cord to your wife's belly so she can say, "Yes, dear." I mean, you're already a pussy when you walk in there because they're like, "Why didn't you build your own fucking shed?" So therefore, pussy number 1 walks in with a mask. Pussy number 2 takes the mask down because he has no consistency. Pussy number 3 got to call my wife and ask her what color I want this thing. Pussy number 4.
Are you ready for number 5?
Yeah, I am.
So after I tell him, yeah, we want this color siding. I thought that's what it was, but you know, I
was pretty sure it's what I wanted, but
I had to make sure.
I had to ask my wife what I said. Yep.
So then he says, what color would you like the trim to be?
Did you step out again?
I said, I gotta call my wife again.
If the goal was not to be a fucking little bitch, you failed so hard.
I did. So we get through this whole experience, and the guy even made a comment once about, like, I asked him, well, how about this? And he said, well, I don't really swing a hammer anymore because he's older. Mm-hmm. He goes, so I would have to talk to one of the other guys about it.
That's not how they talk, though, right?
Oh, no, it's funny. He did talk like that with me. But side note, really weird experience I saw was I watched one of them on the phone, like, doing business. He's like, and I'm like, I was saying, like, one of them, like, they're just totally different than me, but they
are a lot different.
I know they're a lot different than me, for sure.
Mean,
so he's on the phone. He's like, oh, yeah, we'd be interested in that. You want to sell, blah, blah, blah. I need this much, blah, blah, blah. Hangs up the phone, and he walks over to what I'm assuming are his cousins or brothers and sisters or boyfriend, girlfriend, and he says to them, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Because they got their own little language.
They do have their own little language.
Yeah.
If we have any Amish listening right now, please reach out.
Sure we do.
Us. Please reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show. So, yeah, I mean, but the guy I was talking with, he was real, you know, I mean, we weren't on the same page or anything,
right.
by any
means.
Did
you say take and do a lot?
Take and do. Probably.
Oh, you go over here and take your hammer and you take and do it like this.
No, he didn't talk like that either.
No, I guess they're not Irish. I went Irish there. Why did I do that? It wasn't what I was trying to do.
So, to wrap this up, I spend a lot of money.
Okay.
And enough money that he goes and gets me a couple mugs that say Mast Mini Barns on the side, and he goes, and they're very nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, these are gifts to you. Also, if you'd like some pens. And I'm like, okay, thanks, you know, blah, blah. And I'm walking out the door, and he goes, we also have these calendars here. And I held up my phone to him, and I go, I haven't used one of those since I got one of these. Like, neener, waving it in his face.
Look at you! Look at you! With your freaking phone! Dangling it in front of the Amish people! You're such an asshole! They hate you.
Neener. And I can just imagine when I walk out the door, they're like, hey, Jebediah, you just see that bitch have to call his wife? Twice.
Like, I ain't never getting a cell phone because it's going to turn me into a pussy like that guy. Oh, I'm so glad I came back to the town after Rumspringa. Oh my God.
Yep. So, getting me some pool furniture and a shed. So, it's going to happen. Yep. So, let's talk about some toys.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We are going to forego toy drama.
We are.
Well, I mean, I have like I have pages and pages of toy drama.
Right.
If you want to talk about some, we can. But I think because we got so many toys
Okay.
that we'd really like to discuss.
All right.
What do you think?
I think we should just do toys then.
Okay, sounds good.
Besides, Pete loves toy drama.
It's Pete's favorite. Yep. Eric Bertrand says from his experience selling sheds, 99% of them are covered in hobo piss.
I bet you they are, because the hobos are living in them.
Can't argue that. Drunk Gizmo says, "Sup guys?" and he says, "Call a shame." Yeah, that definitely was a call of shame. Brandon 4569 says, "I keep my mask on but take off my pants. Nothing says tough like full genitalia display."
Yeah,
Maybe I'll try that next time.
I'm sure you will. So, what do we? You see something else?
Yeah, I just. Super Curry Mac says, "What the F was that sound that Steve just made?"
I was laughing.
Yeah, maybe. I got to go with this one. I think we do have a little bit of drama that we should discuss because it's toy related too.
All right.
Yep, I was trying to get us a little bit out of Mythics because we're going to talk so much Mythics here. But he said, "Hey, what about that dude that was calling out Jeremy and the Cabal?" And Mythic Legion's Cabal, the largest, best run Facebook group for for Mythic Legions out there.
Yep.
So weird kind of, did you see these?
I did. I saw. I still don't know what he wanted Jeremy to comment about, but I saw the call out for Jeremy to comment.
So what happened was, and I'm going to give you kind of like a brief description because I'm even kind of questioning what was really being talked about. But my understanding was there was a gentleman in the group who wanted to talk about 3D printing items and that the Four Horsemen should stop their current business plan, or at least do this as well, which is just give people digital files that they can print on their own 3D printer. And his thought process was that this is for the future of toys. This is how toys are going to be created, which I understand what he's implying. And you're holding a perfect example right now.
Sure.
Charon's Claw, made by Hobgoblin Customs. And this is a cool 3D printed sword. It's pretty neat that he created for us. The hard part is there is a huge difference between 3D printed items and factory produced items.
Huge difference.
And this is not to say anything about 3D printers, any of those companies out there. Obviously, we are huge supporters of probably 4 or 5. Easy. Like I do Sculptor Shelf, which is an amazing artist who does mostly, I would say, Marvel head sculpts, but he's done some amazing He-Man. He does all kinds of stuff. The Toy Forge, My Action Figure Customs. Steve is literally sleeping with the people from Wolf King Customs.
I like to say they're sleeping with me, but either way.
Seba's stuff is absolutely amazing.
Yep, Planetary Dogs.
Yep. So we are huge fans.
Teal Titan.
Teal Titan's beautiful stuff.
And there's probably some we're forgetting.
Yeah, some just amazing stuff out there. The reality of it is, if this sword is dropped the wrong way, it breaks. Okay? If I take this Four Horsemen factory produced figure and I drop it, realistically, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, but that 3D printed thing on his chest probably will break.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong.
Not because it's bad quality. Any of them would.
It's just different.
It's different stuff.
It's
Try
different.
to make I mean, I don't know. I'm probably talking out my ass a little bit here, but I would expect, and if there's 3D printers out there that want to correct me after I say this if it's wrong, but I think it's pretty hard to create a hand that you can put weapons in, that you can fit a sword in that's flexible enough to do that and have the grasp ability to interchange weapons off a 3D printer.
I am so dumb. Like, that thought never even crossed my mind. But that's a perfect example because a lot of people, one of their complaints is they wish the wrist had multiple swivel points.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, they wish it would go up and down and not just, like
Right.
the open palm.
Curl
Yes,
versus,
yes, Yep. And that is one of, and I should say a lot of people, but that's one of the complaints that people have with, like, let's say, Four Horsemen hands. The 3D printing people aren't making hands.
And if they are,
We
I've
never
see-
see them.
you see them like this.
Yes. Yes.
They're not going to put a weapon in them.
Yes. And I never even thought about that.
I mean,
you are so much smarter than me when it
No, I'm
comes to this
not.
stuff.
but I mean, we're even struggling in Wolf King right now, a little behind the curtain. Hope Len doesn't care, but we're talking about handles to certain weapons and stuff in the design phase, and how are you going to do that? Because you actually you usually have to put some pressure on those parts
To get them into the
to
hands.
get them into the hand, and
Yeah.
you really, by the time you make a 3D printed part and put your stuff on there, how do you make them strong enough to handle that so that you don't just sell it to somebody and the first time they put it in their hands it breaks?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, these are concerns that you have to do. So to just sell parts, it's different. I mean, it just is. We don't even know 3D printing. I mean, people have been manufacturing these 3D heads for a relatively short amount of time.
For this line.
For this line and for other lines. I mean, when has the 3D printing actually gotten good enough to do this?
No, it's
5
probably
years?
5 to 10. 10 years ago, they probably were doing it, but it's not as good as, it's not even close to what it is right
And
now.
they probably were using different techniques, different resin, and everything has changed.
Yes.
Okay. How do we know that these aren't going to fall apart in 5 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just degrade or something.
Right,
We
right.
don't know.
You don't know.
If you're going to mass produce something, you got to do it at a factory, and you
Yeah.
got to do it the old school way.
And why in the hell would the Horsemen want to give out their files, even if they were charging for them, and then somebody creates one of their heads on a shitty printer using shitty resin, they don't clean it well enough,
Yeah.
and then they're posting pictures of that head and saying, this was created by the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
And now I got to paint it.
Yeah.
And sure, there's a lot of people out there that can paint. I can tell you there's more people that don't want to.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
I'm one of them. I literally the other day was looking at all these things I have, and that's a little bit of what I brought in too. And I'm like, God, if I could just paint, the difference would be on how much money or sexual favors I'm saving. But the reality of it is one, I still don't want to, and two, I really don't think I would ever be good enough. And maybe that's a hard part too, is because I have, am surrounded by so many talented artists. You, Hobby Lobby, Bill Zombie, is right now working on a piece for me. I'm surrounded by these people, and I think that it kind of, then when I see something that I'm like, yeah, that's not that good.
I could confirm that you would never get good.
Yeah. I agree with you.
There's a lot of people that can. No, I think you should
just keep paying you.
Yeah, just pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just pay. You know that's your talent. Is the money in the wallet.
Yeah. That is my talent. I'm not going to argue with that. So what ends up happening is this guy posts this post, and of course there's some comments, but then he posts another post and calls out Jeremy Gerard saying, hey, as a representative of the Horsemen, what's your opinion on this? And of course, the dude has a life.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Jeremy's got about 4 lives.
Yes.
Because he's doing all kinds of different stuff.
And so, I understand where people, and he is very active and puts himself out there, and answers a lot of questions, but he's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, and so like it's piecing this together, and the guy just kind of kept spamming the group, and finally like people are like, how his interaction with people, I don't even think the guy had ill intent or was trying to be, but how he responded to things just came off as kind of rude and snarky. And I don't think that was even his intent.
I kind of don't think it was his intent either, especially in the comments he made after Jeremy's response, which was polite.
Yeah.
But he did kind of come off as, yo, where you at on this?
Yeah.
How come you're not saying anything?
Yeah.
Awful quiet over there, huh? That's how it did kind of come off to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, okay, the cabal, and it's there to discuss things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything to bring this idea up and say, why don't we do it?
Very true.
And I think there's a gazillion reasons why you don't do it.
Yeah.
But it's a discussion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that. But
No.
it did come off as, I don't know, kind of a calling out. Reminded me of when, you stand in the ring and you call out,
Yeah.
I'll fight you anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
The Rock would come out here.
If anybody back there wants to go, I'll go. And then all of a sudden the Undertaker's
and then Jeremy
music.
Gerard music hits. And Jeremy comes out.
I do think you just brought up a pretty good point about something, and this is, we'll go right into thanks UPS guy. But,
Sure.
So I just got my latest box.
My action figure customs.
Yes, and what I hate to say about this is you probably already have painted the majority of these if you bought them. Because I was so late on the buy-in on these that I was like in the second wave of stuff that got mailed out, which is my own fault. But there is something that was included in here that I think stresses like kind of what you just talked about the cabal being this place to communicate things and talk about stuff. So right on the inside of it is a sticker, and it says, if there are any issues or questions, please email us at admin@myactionfigurecustoms.com. Okay? So when I see something like that, I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I also, it kind of gets my gears spinning a little bit from the standpoint of they put that in there because they're tired of people just going on Facebook and saying, oh, yeah, I got my order, but it was missing a piece.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Doesn't that drive you
Because
crazy?
you're not even giving the manufacturer a chance to make it right.
Yes.
Communicate
with them.
Yes.
And then if they give you a hard time or don't take care of you or, then if you feel like you have to go out and blast somebody someplace, go blast them.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you jump that step, I'm going to tell you right now, 95% of the people in the cabal or a lot of other Facebook groups are actually pretty reasonable people, okay? Now, some people are like, well, have you been in G.I. Joe Uncensored? Because those people aren't reasonable. No, the reality of it is the majority of people are. You don't hear from them.
No.
They're the people that just get on there and like stuff and read things and enjoy it and maybe once in a while add a comment.
For sure.
But what you're going to get is you're going to get that 5 to 10% of just people that are just plain weird who feel like, oh, I got to go right on the internet and bash this company, which they're the ones you need to work with because they're the ones that got to send you the piece. I just don't get it.
I don't get it either.
And we're talking about it in a toy realm. It's everywhere. I mean, it literally is everywhere.
Sure.
Social media has created this that if you have a problem, you just go on social media and cry about it.
Yep.
But I think about that kind of stuff. So, which that brings me to my thanks UPS guy.
All right.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and like I said, you might have already experienced all these.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Probably not. I ordered a small order last time. Not just because there was so much.
Oh my God, there was so much at that time frame going on. I ordered a couple neck pegs. They're the pumpkin stemmed ones.
Okay.
And the whole reason I got them is because I just need a few neck pegs.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? They're gonna be hidden anyway, so it'll be okay. on some of the customs I have. This one looks familiar.
Oh yes, I've painted a couple of these ones. Dwarf head, leather strap around his bandana area. I love this. I love that sculpt. I showed it last time. I think it was here. I brought in my painted version. It's one of my favorites. This guy I did not order. I'm picking at a little piece on it that's, the supports when they print these sometimes.
Got to get cleaned up a
Yeah,
little bit.
you just kind of scrape them off and it's fine. This is kind of like looks like a caveman type head.
Oh
me.
yeah, I guess I never really noticed that brow was so
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
a really
thick
yeah,
brow.
Mm-hmm.
Almost look like a unibrow.
it does. Well, I'm not sure. It's just his it looks like his whole skull structure just has that thick brow like you'd see on a Cro-Magnon man or something. What you got there? Ooh, that's a cool head.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this head. I wish I had this one.
I would say I'm pretty sure the majority of these are Matt O'Toole sculpted.
This is the one that has the looks like he shaved his head on the sides,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool. I didn't get that one. I like it though. And then what's this? Oh, there's another one with a really. Now this looks Lord of the Ringsy to me. This guy here. This looks like just a cool thick helmet, screaming face or yelling face. I love that. Very cool.
Cody, when I hold them in front of the camera, is it getting enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Perfect. I just want people to be able to see them.
Yeah, these two guys are great too. I like these a lot, Trev. I think you should give them to me to paint, and then I'll just keep them.
Because I'll just forget about them. And yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. You tell me which ones you want to paint, and maybe I'll check with Hobby Lobby too.
Steve, do you use a primer before you paint?
Yes. Is that a question?
Yep.
Yep, I do. I use a Tamiya brand
Primer.
spray primer when I get the fine stuff. I've got that's a trick I learned. That's Hobby Lobby. Gave that uses the same stuff, and you want to put it on thin as you can, because you don't want to fill up that detail.
So do you take the primer and do you mix it with water, or
It's
no?
like an aerosol can.
Oh, gotcha. It's a spray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The trick is right now in Michigan is it's getting cold,
Yeah.
so painting is kind of a pain in the butt, and unless you get. That's why I got my order from Wolf King the other day that I got a paint of the Judge and the Believer, the two heads for God's Fire, and we actually had a couple of warm days here.
Oh, yeah.
Unseasonably warm, and I got out and I
Spray painted as much stuff as you
yeah,
can.
I got them all primered so that it was good. But
Yeah. Tanic Rock. Tanic. What the hell does that word even mean? Congratulations on 200 episodes of my favorite podcast. Keep up the great work.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're not to 200 yet.
We're working
We're
on it.
getting there.
We're working on it.
We're probably closer to 300 to be honest, but
You,
What?
Cody. God dang it.
what did he say?
God damn. It's 10-inch rock.
You're such an idiot.
Shoot. That's a good name.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so that's my action figure customs pieces. I'm super excited about them. These dwarf heads. Matt O'Toole stuff has been out there for a while. This is really the first time I think he's worked with somebody to actually distribute them. Otherwise, I think he was either doing it through Shapeways or even just sculpting them. So I don't know, but they look.
It's
stunning.
funny because when the stuff I ordered, I think from my action figure customs from that same wave, I didn't look at who made any of it,
Yeah.
but the stuff that I gravitated to was Matt O'Toole's stuff.
Yeah, it's
After the
beautiful.
fact, I looked, I'm like, oh, I guess I like his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So good.
Not
So-
that I'm mocking anybody else. It's
No,
just-
but it's just when you see those, they're he just and my understanding too, the guy works in like movie production, like he creates like pieces for and which I read that on Source Horseman and I've already of course forgot, but you know, the guy is kind of immersed in this kind of stuff regardless.
Sure.
Yeah. So next up, Hobby Lobby finished this figure for me. I should have brought the Four Horsemen he made for me in, but I haven't had the opportunity. But he made this one for me, and it pretty much what we're talking about here is a Mythic Legions Templar Knight. He used the My Action Figure custom neck piece,
Yep.
and
there we go.
skull. Also from My Action Figure Customs. And if I remember right, no, it's not. I was thinking that was a freebie that they sent, but
That one was not. I
no,
don't believe.
because the freebie was a regular skull. That's right. This is the chainmailed armored head. And
Yeah, which is one of my favorites.
it's just so good.
And you see it a lot now. And for a while, it was hard to get.
Yes.
Then he re-released it, and you see it a lot now, but I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, and it's funny is I literally could have an army of that. I just love that head. You know, and not just that head, but then following up, real fun for me was my in-laws for my birthday reached out to first they reached out to my wife, who couldn't give them a good idea because she had used up the only good idea she had, which was a giant pillow to go across the back of our bed.
Sounds like a gift for her.
It's actually now in our son's room.
Oh,
So we had it in our bedroom for 3 days, and it's made it down there.
oh,
Apparently, one night while we were lying in bed, I must have made a comment that, you know, it'd be nice if we had a big TV or a big pillow that we could sit up against when we're watching TV.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Which we haven't been doing a lot of watching TV anymore, but, you know. Regardless, so my mother-in-law reached out to my good friend Jason Wynn, who was like, how would I know?
Right.
But what Jason is smart enough to do is talk to Steven.
Sure.
And Steven created this figure probably about, I don't know, 4 months ago.
I don't even think it was that long.
Yeah.
2 months, maybe.
And so I have seen pictures of this. I absolutely loved
I
it.
had that in the studio.
Yep, you've had it here. Yep. The cape. The cape was made by your mom.
Yes.
Yep. It's a wired cape. It's another one of these. This one is a army builder.
Army Builder, My Action Figure Customs head, with mom with Grandma Bishotti's wired cape.
And Steven's paint job.
Yeah.
As well as weathering on that armor.
Yeah.
I imagine that army builder probably came from me.
Could have. No, when they did I still have a few.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. When they did that, they re-released them once, and
Yep.
I got 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
And
How many do you wish you got?
50. But I have. It may have came from you because I've done stuff for you and then traded you.
True.
Like
Yes.
I've given you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, John.
Is that showing? That looks good, right, Trav?
Oh, it looks beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
Travis has got to monitoring it a little bit.
Oh, it looks great.
Cody can't be in 2 places at once.
Yeah. No, he did.
What are we paying him for?
He's doing a real good job. So super excited about that too, and it was so fun because my mother-in-law reached out and did that. Well, my father-in-law, he was getting me a present as well because they didn't communicate well.
Yeah.
You know, so it ends up they hand me this figure, which my father-in-law goes, I wouldn't have paid $5 for that.
Yeah.
Which I know costs more than that. And then they handed me a leaf blower. So like I was like,
Yeah. Something to make work easier.
Exactly.
Something to play.
Which is hilarious too, because obviously the skeleton is what I really appreciated, but that leaf blower is,
Yeah.
gonna make me so happy as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. So that was like awesome. But then last but not least, so Steve thank you. Amazing. Good job, buddy.
And I tell you what, I panicked because I didn't even think about one of my customs
Mm-hmm.
for a while. In fact, I started writing back to Jason right away. I don't know. He's got everything. He's got every figure. There's nothing out there that he could get. I'll have to. This will take some time. I'll have to put some thought into this.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, he wanted that when I was on the show before.
Yeah.
So, but he lowballed me on the price. So now I'll stiff his in-laws.
Now I'll get them for double. Oh, it's so spoiled. And last but not least, yesterday I did a little bit of grocery shopping and did some hunting. And I walked into Walmart, and the whole Mr. Fix-It, Joe Fix-It wave was sitting on the shelf. And
Interesting.
I'd be honest with you, I don't even really want to talk about the figures that are in the wave. Because as I looked at them, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass. I'm going to walk right away.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the back, and I looked at Joe Fix-It, which is the Gray Hulk, when he went to Vegas, and he was acting like a bouncer pretty much because the Gray Hulk's kind of like a little bit of an id. He's my Hulk. I mean, he's my dude. He's my kind of dude. Only can come out at night, and it's such a weird figure. I mean, it is the Hulk in a suit with a hat
That's
on.
not gray. That's green. Right?
Gray. I understand how you're looking at it right now, but if you get it in hand, I think
okay.
you're going to say he's gray.
Okay.
So, I bought the whole wave because I'm like, I love the Hulk. I need to have this, and I got it. And I'll probably sell the other ones, use a couple pieces because Thunder Strikes had actually it's got some great emotion, and I'm like, man, I might be able to put that on a Mythic Legion. We'll see, of course. But this figure, I still love the Hulk. He's one of my favorites. I'm going through a very weird cycle right now, and I'm like, as I look at my Marvel Legends, I'm leaning towards selling them. And I've sold the majority of my Star Wars Black. I haven't opened a single 6-inch G.I. Joe yet. I have the majority of them. I'm still out on a couple of the hard-to-find ones, which I did just have somebody reach out to me and ask if I would trade a Ice Troll for a Baroness motorcycle set. And it was so funny because I literally was like, the Baroness motorcycle set to me is worth $45. The Troll at minimum was $90 and is up to like $200 now.
Mm-hmm.
But value-wise, it is a decent trade.
Right.
Because that Baroness set we may never see again.
May never.
But what we do know we will see again is what?
An ice troll?
Yes. And the Baroness probably single packed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Possibly, yeah.
Hasbro's gonna do that, right?
Right.
I mean, they do that with everything. They put her out with a motorcycle now. The next time she'll be single packed, and maybe something will be different. But I'm really struggling right now to run out and spend a ton of money on a Viper or a Cobra Trooper because I just am like, they're gonna be back. And realistically, the Ice Troll might be back too. The Horsemen want to make this stuff so they can.
The first two trolls came back, kind of.
And
Kinda.
I don't think you saw this. There was a guy fishing on the Cabal saying, I'm considering getting a troll. Should I get one? I realize Big Bad Toy Store is going to be the best place to get it, price-wise.
Right.
And Cornboy commented, you might want to start watching Store Horsemen.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Star Horseman. What's going on here?
So I got a feeling that the Horsemen are going to do what we know they want to do, and they want to get these figures into people's hands. And so we'll see what happens, but I got a feeling that some of these figures are going to make their way back. Now, with that said,
It's not there.
I love this figure. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Cody, can you come in here?
Yeah.
Cody, you are going to be gifted one of these 4 figures on the table right here. Okay? You're going to be gifted one.
Hypothetically.
Oh, yeah, I'm not giving you one.
Cody's like, what am I going to do with it? He's like, I don't want one of those.
He's like, I got to look at those here at the shop all the time, and they're in plastic bags and laying on top of each other. You know what? Actually, too, we're going to throw in Pete's. This one we'll actually give you if you chose it.
Because it's not ours.
Because it's not ours.
Actually, that head might be mine. He never paid me for that.
If you had to pick one, Cody.
Ice Troll.
And I don't blame Cody one bit for saying the Ice Troll.
No.
No, you know, it is a cool piece. It's this big, giant monster. It's an amazing thing.
Probably this guy.
You think the ogre?
Yeah.
Yeah, also really cool. And so what's funny here, so Cody's not a toy guy. He likes Pops. He's definitely into a lot of these genres. But he literally just picked a figure that has only one paint app piece on it.
Yeah.
And everything is that Army Builder solid gray, which I still think looks amazing. But, you know, the only piece that's on here is this My Action Figure piece that Steve painted expertly. But it just is a cool looking figure. It's this giant beast.
Who doesn't like a giant ogre?
Yeah, and it's amazing how this kind of works, that like every little piece has a little bit of something, you know, for somebody. And part of me wondered if he was going to say this, because it's just so weird.
That is cool. He's talking about the Hulk
Yeah,
in the suit. It is a cool piece. I mean, I can see why you want that
yeah,
for sure.
yep. There was a couple other figures in there that actually were cool. Jocasta is one that I would like on my Avengers shelf. And the Kang is just beautiful. So there's some cool figures in there, but there's 2 from the video game, which I'm never gonna play. Even though it's probably cool. There's a Falcon, which I don't need a classic Falcon. I like his look from more like the game, and even like his Captain America suit one. But it was a weird line, but I needed to get Joe Fix-It here, so I pulled the trigger on him. Oh God!
So I was lucky enough to score a Mythic Legions test shot, and this is Aetherion, I think, the horse. So I gotta say, this horse is awesome. This horse has very good articulation. I love the way that they have made it so that you can put weapons on areas of him. What?
Why couldn't I stay up longer?
You said you didn't give a rat.
I
You were like, you know what? I actually called you.
You did call me.
Shortly before. I'd be like, hey, you gonna be swinging it out for? Nah. Nope. Gotta go to bed. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think you called me at 8:40.
Yeah, like you only had to wait up like
15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I was like already pretty much asleep, and you called, and I like grabbed the phone, and I'm like, and you're like, dude, which one are you gonna try and get? And I'm like, nah, I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that
was
is so beautiful.
It was the lamest thing ever when you said that. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have some fun.
Oh, gosh. Oh, it's so beefy.
I'm going to be having some fun going after him. So I did have some fun, and I got him right away. He doesn't disappoint. Articulation is good. I mean, horses only got so much articulation anyways. They can only do so many things. But I do like that what they gave us works really well. Is I guess what I'll have to say to that.
It's absolutely beautiful
I can only imagine what it's going to look like
with Aretha on it.
painted,
Yeah.
even though it looks pretty sweet unpainted.
What's up, Ryan? Cornboy is here. He said Kang is the awesome figure in that wave. I totally agree. I love Kang too. Bob Reiger, good dude. Christopher Kelly. Bob said a guy has to try. He's the one that offered me the Baroness for the ice troll. I would tell you, Bob, like, I don't know if you missed it, but stay on Store Horseman.
All the time, 24/7.
Steve is outfitting one of his God's Fire figures on top of this freaking monster. I love the size of the horse. I love it. You know, that's one of the things people have talked about is that the horses are so big, and when I see the figure on there, like, I think it's just perfect.
If they gave us a wimpy horse for Mythic Legions,
How would that even make sense?
you just couldn't do that.
If you want a wimpy horse, go buy the Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they work perfect. You can put elves on them, you put dwarfs on them, they look fine. When you put a big old beefy 1.0 body on one of those Lord of the Ring horses, it doesn't work.
Need you to show this sucker off.
Oh,
We're gonna.
Here, we hold it and I'll focus it.
Yep.
He's gonna focus.
Dude, your figure on here is so cool too.
And I can't wait to get. Was it the regular horse?
Yeah, and put him on that.
Oh, 5 of those regular
Oh,
horses
dude,
for all
this
5
is
of God's
like
Fire.
Just an amazing piece. I love that shoulder pauldron.
Yeah, that shoulder pauldron is a piece. I should say where that came from, and I forget.
Oh.
Right.
This is so good. Dude, you're right. These weapons attachments, you know, to be able to put all kinds of weapons on. That's just how good that those guys are, but they're going to think about those little pieces. Like, let's make it so everybody can put, you know, all their weapons that we give all of these characters. They can put it right on the horse. How many horses are you going to have, Steve?
70. I don't know.
They're just so big, so there is finding.
There's a
that.
room aspect
Yeah.
for it, but I think I ordered 3.
Yeah. Oh, just beautiful. I can't even imagine when we get it in the painted.
Vincent Garma.
Vincent Garma.
Cabal
Self-post
mate.
on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, he's got stuff on eBay,
I'm sorry, eBay.
and yeah, that's where that shoulder piece came from.
Steve, you did an amazing job with the head too. This paint job on this figure, that's really good, dude. He looks real.
Yeah,
He
Thank
looks
you.
real.
I tried. He's a boss.
But
that horse,
what do you need for it?
what?
To make that horse come home with me, what do you need?
I'll tell you what you needed. Extra 20 minutes of life. Staying up.
Maverick Salvagen. Salvagen.
Okay.
Tempted to get the moose and make a mythic Santa custom to ride on it.
I love it.
That's awesome.
It's a great idea.
Could you imagine using one of these Matt O'Toole heads? Dude.
For Santa Claus? Oh, absolutely.
It's Santa Claus.
It is.
It's what Santa Claus and Mythic Legions would be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Totally. Totally. So yeah, if anybody was on the fence about the horses, I don't know how you would have been.
What'd the horse cost? The test shot.
100, I think.
$100. I think that's easy money. Easy money for that. to get something that they're I can't remember what their numbers were for this wave, but it seemed like it was in the 10 to 20 maybe of these test shots are actually made. And the test shots aren't for everybody. I do think everyone that gets one kind of falls in love with it.
They're cool looking.
Yep.
I don't care what you say. They just I mean, I know it's we get figures, we rave about the paint apps, and then we're like, yeah, well, let's get one with no paint. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in that regard, but I don't know. I just think it's fun. And I don't have a lot of test shots. This is only my second one.
What's your other one?
Thistle Snatch.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good one.
So
It's beautiful, and I really regret not getting on and pulling the trigger on this thing. I'm not a completist when it comes to test shots, but I think I might be up to 8. I just made a trade for 2 more from Anthony Houseel. So
I've got another one coming too.
oh yeah, they just weren't packaged together.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Fury Orc.
That'll be a good one.
So
Fury, the orcs just look really great in that gray. Absolutely amazing.
So yeah, cool. And then now we get to have some just fun. Cause who doesn't think that Mr. T and Masters of the Universe shouldn't go together? We've got the Heroic Pitier of Fools, which is exactly what was on his card. Which kudos to Mattel for doing that. That's awesome. Speaking of obviously the Masters of the WWE Universe, Hobby Lobby hooked me up with a wave of the newest of these figures. Here, check out Mr. T here. He's got a Fisto fist. He's got a Jitsu hand.
Dude, that's fun.
And he is amazing. I love him.
It's fun. Obviously this line doesn't do anything for me from the standpoint of buying them or anything like that. But it is really fun.
It's just so crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy, but it's a cool figure. Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake, which I've never really been a fan of Jake the Snake.
Really?
No, I thought he was dumb. He didn't wrestle very good. He moved real slow. He looked kind of fat, skinny. He was like tall and kind of slender, but he was like flabby.
I saw him on a plane. I rode a plane with him.
You did?
Yeah. About 10 years ago. And yeah, that dude looks rough.
Yeah.
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 But he's had a rough life too.
Yeah. Now, the cool thing about this Jake the Snake is this is the King Hiss homage. So his face comes off.
Oh wow. That's fun.
Well, there's more to it. If you take his armor off, he's got some, and it's hard to take off. But yeah, and it works. That action, the fit is very like you didn't even expect that. Did
I had
you?
no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. As a matter of fact, when you even started talking about it, I thought like his whole head must come off. Yeah, that's fun.
So if you take his armor off, he's got a really cool, I don't know what you call this, like a water slide sticker or something. So if you put, now he's very King Hissy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fun stuff. I love it.
And I totally get why the fact that you love He-Man, I totally get why you would have this, this love of these. It's cool, dude.
And now we've got, I haven't opened yet, but we got Seth Rollins kind of outfitted in some Zodak armor. Looks like he has a flaming sword in there. And I think it's funny that they're using classics parts with these. I mean, Mr. T's armor is Jitsu's armor, classics armor,
Yeah.
reused. And I'm sure that is the Zodak armor reused. And it looks like it's Drago Man's flaming sword
Yeah.
in there with him.
Dude,
So-
the Fiend, the Bray Wyatt,
Bray Wyatt.
the pieces that come with him look friggin' awesome. Axe hand and a mace hand.
Yeah. Here he is. I haven't opened that one up yet either.
Oh man, they did a great job with his face, making it look creepy.
Yeah, he is creepy.
Man, they're doing good stuff over at Mattel.
They are. They're doing great stuff at Mattel.
And like I said, while this isn't for me, it's fun. It's fun, and I get why people love it.
And I got to talk, I didn't bring it in because it's already in my work office, but last time I was here, I said I had received Mezco's Popeye and Bluto set. It is quite possibly my favorite Mezco set I've ever gotten. I love it. I actually bought an extra Popeye body on eBay. Somebody had a body without hands and a head, but it was the body and the clothes.
Yeah.
Because Popeye comes with 3 different heads, 3 different hats, a peak
you
coat, a brain coat, and then
Hands probably right.
and extra hands and pipes and compasses and telescopes. He's got all these pieces that you can't use on one. So I'm like, I bought it. I bought that extra figure, and I totally dressed that one up with the extra stuff so he looks completely different. And different head on it, different hat on it, different coat on it, different hands on it, and so now I've got 3 Popeyes in my collection, 1 Bluto, and I tell you what, Mezco's killing it right now. Mezco, everything. In fact, I was so stupid. Len and Jeremy Gerard have kind of been like talking to me really hardcore about Mezco, and how they're really liking their like Mezco own made stuff.
Yeah.
Mez and
Yeah.
their other characters that they're kind of making their universe out of. So I see this Dr. Fate figure. I have no idea what Dr. Fate is. I thought it was one of Mezco's own things because I didn't know what it was. And it has such a retro. That figure had like a callback retro look. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. So you reached out to them and said, I really love their...
I know. I pulled the trigger, bought it. Then I
now
found
you got
out.
a DC Mezco.
Then I find out it's a DC figure. Lame. I thought I was going to be cool.
You know what's funny is I, as a kid, always loved Dr. Fate.
I never heard of it.
I barely read any books he was in, but I loved how he looked.
He's got a really cool look.
Yeah, the cool helmet, and but it's funny because then when I think I read a comic with Dr. Fate in it, I'm like, this guy's kind of lame.
What's he do?
He does all kinds of shit. He's very powerful. Very powerful.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
I'll probably be selling a Dr. Fate at some point.
So I've been buying a lot of Mezco.
Yeah.
And not opening them. So I haven't been bringing them on the show, but I have this feeling that one day I'm going to have a big opening party and just open these and play with them, but I still haven't done that. So part of me is still in that, like, buy them to see what value does and then decide if I want to keep them or not. I'm still kind of in that.
They're really cool. I say, if you do ever pull the trigger and get rid of your Marvel Legends,
Yeah.
I think Mezco is the way that you could probably use less space and really satisfy that superhero itch.
Yeah.
Because they're really so cool.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed them. They're so much better than we thought they were going to be in the beginning. When we got those first couple in,
Yeah.
we were just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, they were cool, but there was some issues.
Yeah.
Yep, and they've really picked up their game.
Yeah.
And their creative owned properties, theirs, they're really cool. And they put so much, like those boxes when I get them, like if I do open them, I just look to make sure everything's in there. They put so much cool stuff in there.
They do.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just cool figures. So, yeah, Maverick said he's the Doctor Strange of DC. Which is what I pretty much would say he is. I think there's a little bit of difference because I think he can talk to gods, and then even access their abilities or something like that. There is some strange stuff with it. The helmet, I think, might be sentient. Did I say that right?
Sentient.
It might be a sentinel. So, is that all you got, Steven?
That's all I got for toys.
Oh, that was a lot of toys. Shocking. Really in the fantasy realm, He-Man and Mythic Legions. I'm not surprised coming from you, but the fact that we're getting so focused on this line makes me really wonder where this podcast is going.
So focused on Legions.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we're at the point where it's like, okay, we haven't put a Legions cast episode out other than the one we kind of did last week. So I
Yep.
guess we have.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do we do now? Go over and repeat ourselves on Legions cast?
I think we hold Legions cast till next week. We'll
Probably.
we'll see what happens. Maybe get Peter back in here. I don't know. I am at this weird spot when it comes to my collection that I am trying to figure out what I really want to do.
I am in a very crossroads area too because, I'm so focused right now, but I have to give up stuff that I love to continue that, and it's very difficult.
Where are you with your vintage G.I. Joe?
I love my vintage G.I. Joe. I love that my flag is set up, and I love that I've got enough displayed where I can go in and kind of look around at it and be like, yeah, this is my G.I. Joe love. But I'm kind of thinking, I could put it away for a while.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about taking the flag down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get rid of it because I'm a pack rat. I can't. I have separation problems. I have, I can't do it.
I totally get it.
So
The
Yeah.
difference for you too is so you sold me the majority of your Marvel Legends. You didn't have a attachment to Marvel Legends based on comics or having them as a toy as a kid. You got into them because they were just such a cool toy, right?
I had a connection to Spider-Man comics, probably as far as
McFarlane days.
as far as Marvel's concerned, Spider-Man was my biggest thing where I actually did read some Spider-Man for a while, and it was during that same time I was reading Spawn and that stuff. So I've always kind of I've always had my head kind of into the superhero stuff, not like you,
Right.
So
Where I was reading all of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I never bought the original Marvel Legends.
Mm-hmm.
The Toy Biz, I never was into them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess no, they don't hold as much as G.I. Joe does,
Right.
for sure.
Because Joe is what you grew up with. Joe is what
Yeah.
you played with every day. It's what you put in your pocket to take to school.
Yep.
To play with on recess. And,
Yep.
And so, like, I totally understand that because, like, I walk into your room and I go, man, those Joes are taking up a lot of room.
Mm-hmm.
The flag is, like we've talked about, how big it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, man, like, if I was you, I would sell those Joes, especially right now. It's crazy,
Yep.
It's absolutely crazy. But I also understand that other side of it is you have that attachment to it, And Cody, what'd you play with when you were 10? What toy line?
I don't know. I was like huge into like Toy Story, so like those things kind of.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
So were you Team Buzz Lightyear or were you Woody?
Woody.
Woody? Who likes Woody? I mean, we all like Woody as a character because it's Tom Hanks. And, but to watch the movie, Woody's a good character. But if you're going to play with a toy, why would you want to play with that versus Buzz Lightyear?
I had them both. I had like the whole line.
Oh, now he's backpedaling. Or at all.
Oh, he had the whole line.
You had Slink Dog too, or?
Sling Dog.
Wasn't that his name?
How would I know?
Cody, we should know. He's being quiet.
God, it's like, fuck you guys. I don't want to talk about what toys I play. I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, wrap up the show so I can go home.
Jesus, you guys haven't talked about anything interesting for the last half an hour.
All right. Before we go, I want to warn everybody.
Real quick,
Oh,
before
go
we
ahead.
go. Eric Bertram, 2 podcasts enter, 1 podcast leaves. Only rule of Thunderdome.
2 podcasts enter one. Okay, so
That we were picking My Wife's Gonna Kill Me over Legion's Cast this week.
oh, well, we did do Patreon.
We did do Patreon, so if you're a Patreon supporter, guess what? There's going to be one of those for you this week. Jim Bagtest says, Toy Story. Yay. Christopher Kelly says, Steve, I'll give you $900 for the flag. PayPal ready. Tell you what, Chris, reach out to Courtney.
No, she's not making those decisions.
If you said $900 for that hunk of plastic, Courtney would have it sent to you the next day.
Yeah, but she would be stupid and not set up shipping, and she'd pay $500 to ship it.
Jay
I'd be really pissed because I got $400 for a flag that's missing like one piece.
Jay McClintock said, he said Woody.
I did. What do you,
David Jones says, love the podcast. Christopher Kelly said, I'm testing his love right now. $900, you wouldn't sell the flag.
if I wanted it again, I'd end up spending $900 or more.
Yeah. Yeah. $900, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
You know what, Chris, it's a great idea, but Steve literally just bought a hot tub 2 days ago. He's like just out there just like, okay. So, I mean, while $900 sounds a lot to a lot of us.
Oh, now you're acting like I'm big money over here.
To big money Bishotti. That's chump change.
That's
He's already got a bathtub in his house. Matter of fact, probably 2 of them, but he's like, I want a bigger one.
Okay, Mr. Pool. Mr. I already got like a hot tub thing in my bathroom, a hot tub thing 3 steps away, and now I had to put a pool in.
We're going to have some fun, though, aren't we, Cody?
I'm not invited.
Of course you're invited. You just won't come.
My eyes are up here. So, all right, so, I wanted to do this a little bit of a public service announcement. It's Christmas season. We're starting starting to get there. Thanksgiving's next week. So, I want to warn you guys, because I kind of almost got caught up in this trap. Don't let your wives watch the Hallmark Channel. That shit will poison their brain. All right? I was watching a show the other day, and this fucking show pissed me off so bad that I have forsaken my wife from watching it. I said, all right, new rule, no Hallmark Channel Christmas shit. All right? So, get this. I'm watching this episode. This hot bitch, and all these actors, they're freaking hot, but they're like 2 years from where they hit the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all like, this is the last ounce of beauty. I'm starting to get the deep laugh lines. I'm starting to lose all the collagen in my face. My lips are getting thin. I'm just not that hot anymore. And the only thing I can really muster up for work anymore is a holiday classic show on Hallmark. So you get this chick, and she's like pushing probably 35, way over the hill. And so she's got this rich-ass boyfriend, okay? Rich-ass boyfriend, takes her out to dinner. It's like the week before Christmas. Shows her this picture of this. He's like this super successful executive, making all just kinds of cash. He's just rolling in cash, but he has to put in a lot of hours, okay, to do that for him, and them. And he takes her out to lunch, and he buys her a locket. He buys her this fancy-ass locket. He's like, hey, Christmas present early. I wanted to show you this. First, he shows her a picture of this fucking mansion he wants to buy her so that they can get married. And then he hands her this locket. And she fucking opens up the locket and she's like, oh, you shouldn't have. It's beautiful. Blah, 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 blah. And she opens up the locket. And the locket has one of those pictures in it that you get like in a picture frame where it's someone else. Because the guy didn't have a chance to go find a picture of them.
Yeah, so she thought it was of another girlfriend or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Her face immediately drops. And she's like, oh. And he says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have a chance to put a picture of us in it. And she's like, so she covers it up. Oh, well, it's really nice. But you can tell she was really let down. Because this guy didn't have the time to fucking go get a picture that she probably wouldn't like anyways. She'd have been like, why'd you pick that picture? I look chubby. I look like I'm retaining water. She probably would have fucking bitched about whatever picture you put in there anyways. But, no, so she's a little bit down, but she covers it up. She covers up her rage, and she's like, oh, she forces a smile. And then he's like, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't go to Christmas with you. I know you were going home to your hometown. I can't. The firm or wherever he works, he's got to put in a bunch of hours to make this money to buy her these lockets and to buy this fucking mansion that she's got to have. And she's like, oh, I understand. So, she goes home. Meanwhile, she bumps into this guy who just happens to be at her dad's house fixing the pipes. Burly bastard, kind of good-looking guy, sheepish grin, handy, fixing everything for her dad. And she's getting wetter than a fucking sponge at the bottom of the sea. Watching this guy who just happens to have had a fling in with high school. And she just keeps bumping into him. And she's like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm fixing up this old house. And I'm doing this. And, money's tight, but I'm fucking, I'm trying. And her dad's like, his daddy's played by a washed up Tom Arnold. And he's like, oh, yeah, he's a really good guy. He's a good man. He's grown up to be. And I remember when he used to try to set my hair on fire in school. Oh, but he's matured and he's such a good guy. So all of a sudden, these two just start bumping into each other all the time. And they just start hanging out. And they start flirting and blah, blah, blah. And she is so smitten with this bastard. While her fucking boyfriend is at home working his ass off, she's freaking horny as hell for this other guy that she just met. And Courtney and all were rushing. She's like, oh, this is a romantic movie. It's a romantic movie? Oh, so it's a romantic movie to be in a relationship that you're almost going to marry some guy and you go home for a second because he's got to work for you, see this other guy, and now she's ready to give up the, the tuna hole to him.
Did you say tuna hole?
Yeah, it just came on. It just popped in my head. I don't know where that came from, but you know what I mean. I'm so pissed off. So they have this romantic thing, and you know what happens, of course. She ends up telling this guy, the guy that's working his ass off for her, as he flies in on Christmas night on a fucking jet that he spent way too much money on for the tickets because he just had to see his girl so she could tell him that she doesn't want him anymore. She wants this other guy because he spent the last 48 hours with her. And, of course, they stay together, and Chump Change gets to go home and fucking be baited to some other bitch when he fucking kisses her ass and loses out. The real thing I want to see is this Christmas movie, part 2, where she ends up getting the guy she wants and ends up having to live in this house that he's continually fixing up and bitching all the time because there's a mess and his tools are lying around. And he just can't afford the lifestyle that she fucking wants, right? They don't show us part 2 when he fucking knocks her up. And then she's like, oh, you know what I need? I need a rich guy. I'm going back to the city. And I'm taking the fucking kids. They don't show us part 2 when you get this bitch. And I'm like, Courtney, you can't watch this shit anymore. This is just, it's that stupid shit where everything, just make the girl happy. We got to have a fucking princess life. We got to have all this shit so I can be happy. And then they think that they deserve it. And all these, I got 3 girls in my family, and I don't want them to get, poisoned by this shit. So, my advice is Get rid of the Hallmark Channel if you can. Don't let your wife watch it. Don't let your daughters watch it. They'll hold you to some crazy ass standard because of all this romantic bullshit they seen. Even Courtney's looking at the background of the house and she's like, why can't our house be decorated like that? Like, do you know how much it probably fucking cost to decorate a house like that? Every freaking cupboard door has a freaking decoration on it in the background.
That sounds awful.
Why can't I live in this fictional town? I deserve it. I'm stunning and brave. TV tells me I'm stunning and brave all the time. I deserve it.
So brave.
Live your best life. You only got one.
You are saying some things that are my mottos.
I'm about ready to hit the wall. Got about 1 year of hotness left in me, and then nobody's going to want me. And then I'm going to say, where have all the good men gone? I'll tell you where they fucking went. They're dating girls 10 years younger than you. Because you hit the wall, and you waited, and you spent your best lives working on your career, and now you've got nothing. You don't have your looks anymore. You can't even get out of a speeding ticket. So that's all I have to say. Stay away from the Hallmark Channel.
Stay away. I just want to say thanks to the people who joined us on YouTube. I think we had about 3 at the most. A couple good questions that I think would be good that we will think about answering down the road. But Maverick said, so with the Cosmic Legions announcement recently, would you guys do an episode talking about what you guys would like to see for other themed Legion lines? Pirates, prehistoric, etc. That could be fun to talk about. David Jones says, can you guys sign my COVID mask? You send it to us, we will sign anything. He also asked for thoughts on Mando Season 2. I've only watched Episode 1. I am planning on binging the rest here shortly.
Enjoying it.
I loved Episode 1. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Maverick,
Cara Dune, man. She's Muskegon hot. Indiana pretty.
Maverick said that you are nailing it with these Hallmark recaps.
Yeah.
John said sponge analogy. I freaking love it. Jay McClintock said, amen, Steve.
There you go. Thanks, guys.
Maverick said, wisest words I've ever heard.
Yep. Keep that shit turned off.
Eric Bertram said, how's the lube? I will admit I haven't really got into the lube yet.
No.
Cody? Nope. No for Cody.
I'll tell you who doesn't need the lube. The fix-it guy at that guy's house, because she's wetter, like I said. Slimier and a toad out in the rain.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's been fun, and this is wrapping up episode The Road to 200.